Speaking of 1 percentile, look at a guy who is 1 percentile, and that would be Brad Sweet. I want to get a picture. I'm scared to put this video up there. Okay, it paused. You got to be careful for other content creators. You can't really show anything that is connected with flow and video, or they will flag your video. You can't show nothing. Big, clap of the hands to Dirt Vision for not having that be the case. But Flow and everybody, they will flag it. And even though if you dispute it and it becomes approved one day, you will lose any kind of recreational funding from that video for 2 months. And if you do get it, you didn't get to set your ads or anything. It's a horrible nightmare to deal with Flow Racing and their algorithmal copyright protected aspects, which is fine, I guess. They're doing what they have to do. I'm sure if Dirt Vision or these other companies could do the same, or afford to do the same, they would. But I was scared when that video was playing. So hopefully it wasn't long enough to be detected. Maybe this is just a high limit video in itself and it's not under the same category. But regardless, Brad Sweet is flying, guys. Brad Sweet, third straight in a row. I mean, he swept the week. This is something that we thought Brad Sweet would do. We thought that Brad Sweet, although hell of an effort, let me say before I continue, hell of an effort by Daryn Pittman. Fast right out of the gate. When you got it, when I'm speaking about Daryn Pittman and any of these guys, when you got it, you just got it. It don't matter if you're off for a year, off for a few weeks. This is why I never gave a lot of credit for Larson to be able to jump into a car and just win. I don't think you forget how to ride a bike. And sometimes that time off makes it fun again, Sometimes these, the freshness, or sometimes the week in and week out grind detours your ability. So I think there is something to be said for having time off racing when you want to race, like a Daryn Pittman. And I also think there's something to be said about age being a bullshit factor. Like when they say 16 to 18, this is what I always will say. Or when they say a 35 or 40-year-old needs to retire. No, you're full of shit. You're just trying to play to the plagiarism of the marketing and the the developmental programs that are making money on parents and their dreams and their kids and you're trying to be a vampire to that situation. You're trying to push the old blood out to make money off the new blood and the hope of the future and all this shit. It's very creepy what actually happens in the motorsports domain in that level in the developmental world. And I hate that sprint car racing is somewhat being utilized in that sector. But Daryn Pittman's an example. Lance Deweese is an extreme example. There's plenty of other drivers who don't lose it once you get over 40 years old. They don't lose it. They decline. I hate with a passion that a driver coming up and winning at the age of 28 or 26 or winning locally thinks that they're too old and they can't do anything. In the sprint car world, late model world don't have this because they don't suffer from the issues that we are inherently suffering in the sprint car racing domain. But it's disgusting to think that once kids or adults get to 24, 25, 26, they don't think they could become a big-time sprint car racer because it's pushed to us like you got to be 16 or 18. That's a lie. Daryn Pittman proves that it's a lie. Several other drivers prove that it's a lie. The only thing that don't want that to be told or to let people know that is the developmental system that I'm talking about that makes a lot of money on monetizing dreams and aspirations and families. And it's disgusting. It's actually disgusting, which is why I'm so passionate and against it. But also there's binary tricks in there and things that are happening right now to keep you cheering on that situation. Regardless, I don't want to keep hounding on that. I want to get to Brad Sweet. Once again, I was just giving praise to Pittman and some of these people who just race when they want to race or can race or have opportunities to race. If you got it, you got it. Simple as that. I still think Tom Brady could pick up a football and throw the ball just as good as any of these guys. We don't have to take hits. Well, we do have to take hits, but we're not football quarterbacks where we're getting hit by 500-pound guys every single time. Some guys may drive a little different as they get a little older, but the skill, the ability, the quickness does not go away. You could say reaction time. I don't give a damn. I think you could drive a car better with a lower reaction time than a quicker reaction time. How many times do we see these younger kids overdriving the car, turning the wheel a little bit too much, and putting themselves in a dangerous situation that destroys a race car and potentially harms themselves? So reaction time going down, not necessarily a good thing. If you compare that reaction time going away, hold on, we'll just go ahead and scroll up. if you can compare that reaction time going away with understanding, with awareness, with predictability, with anticipation. If you can combat that with your talent that you naturally have, and the losing of reaction time with the gaining of awareness, which with the gaining of all the things I'm describing, I don't think that there's any I don't think there's any fact, period, to age in motorsports. It just doesn't equate to me. Maybe when you start getting to Joe Biden and Donald Trump's age, then you can compare. But I don't know. Still, at that point. Regardless, Brad Sweet is a badass. He won 3 in a row. Getting hot. Will he carry this into the outlaw season? Will he race any outlaw races? What are they thinking here? Texas Motor Speedway, where he won this. Man, this is a great facility. It's basically Charlotte without a World Finals. It's a great racetrack. The surface does have some questionable issues. I know people are like, man, when's it going to slick off and go the top to bottom? Apparently, it has been going slick and racing top to bottom. The Power I race last weekend had that. But for me, being from Texas, the MO on this racetrack for a very long time has been once it goes slick, it just rubbers down and eats tires away, and it needs a full surface redo. I don't know if that's the case anymore. Maybe they've done some stuff. Maybe, something's happened, or maybe somebody's going to invest. Maybe the dirt from Devil's Bow needs to be moved over here. I'm not sure about that. But that's been the MO. It didn't look that way last night. It didn't rubber down. Apparently, the Power I race last week didn't rubber down, was slicked off. So maybe it'll be a little bit different tonight. But I think High Limit has some future plans here with Texas Motor Speedway, which is a premier facility in a decent area. Don't know why it can't be capable. But once again, you're in an area, and I've dealt with this in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex that has about 7 million people in it, and you can't get 15,000 to show up. You could barely get 2 or 3. And that's a perception issue. It goes back to a lot of the stuff I'm describing in this episode as to why. Nobody wants to attack that. They're scared because of the monetary system that is attached to everything, the tentacles of the politics of the monetary system, because that developmental programs and system has made so much money. It kind of tells this system what to do. Once again, back to the politics, it's very geopolitical when you consider different satellite types of racing. But I do think it's a good idea. It just needs to be not manipulated, but not manipulated at all. The truth needs to come out on what this is. The truth needs to come out on what's happening over there off the side of 114. So I think there's some good potential here. I think Brad Sweet's getting some speed. Will he run the rest of the outlaw schedule? Maybe we'll have to do a talk with him tonight if he's available. We'll see. But if he carries this type of speed and momentum, he ran decently well at National Open. But if he carries this, there's no doubt to think that we could have a hell of a World Finals, which I am planning to attend. It could be a very interesting final weekend. And honestly, the most anticipated event for me that I'm looking to hopefully attend is the Riverside 2-day show with the World of Outlaws. Riverside International Speedway, home of Sammy Swindell and home of Greg Hodnett, home of Hooker Hood and all these legendary Midwest racers. If he shows up, if Ryan Tim's in that 10, I think that's a deadly combination, a potential combination to win the outlaw race with that 10 car. It is the Riverside event. We could be potentially with that. Brad Sweet's momentum, obviously the World of Outlaws, somewhat in a heated battle for the World of Outlaw Championship. Can Carson Macedo get some ground built up and come after Gravel here? This Riverside weekend is going to be entertaining as all get out.
This is how we ride. This is how we do.